Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday Connoisseur. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about dealing with success. Some assembly may be required. Yep, dealing with success. Some assembly may be required. And when we look at success, sometimes we think there's going to be a quick, fast track to getting what we want. But here's a Tanzania proverb. It says this: bees sting he who loves to eat honey. Bees sting he who loves to eat honey, meaning that great success is achieved through difficult and painful experiences. And many times we have this brilliant idea and we look at it, we strategize, we put all the different tactics into place and people and money and everything, and we just think people are just going to flock to it. We're going to have a overnight success. But little do we realize that sometimes those ideas, the road may be long and at times treacherous to what we are wanting to achieve. And many times, many of us give up along the way because we realize that what we are wanting and how we're going to put it together requires effort, concentration, intention, and various components that is necessary for you to achieve the success that you want. And yes, that assembly is required for you to be in that space. So our first point is this: thoughts of success. You have to be thinking about success. You have to be thinking about how you are wanting to change, transform your life, make adjustments to be in a better space than you are now. And for that to happen, change is required. You have to make some adjustments of where you are now to where you would want to be in the future, hopefully in the near future. And so changes have to be made. Maybe a physical change, it may require a mental change, and changing of habits, people around you, all sorts of things may be required for you to achieve the success that you are wanting. So there has to be some kind of intention. That intention is going to want to be pushing you forward. The intention to be recognized as an expert in a particular area. The intention to be the best at what you're doing. And what you also need to understand is that your success may not be what another person thinks success is. You have to be satisfied with your definition of success and then be prepared to be working on it. Your definition is what is going to make the difference, not somebody else's idea, thoughts, feelings, mood. It's what yours and your ideas, your thoughts, your dreams of what your success should look like every single day. And this is at times one of the major sticking points, because we get so swept up by the success stories of other people and thinking that we must be like them. We idolize them and then we follow them to the T, and then we're not seeing the success that we thought we should be seeing. And part of the reason is because we have taken on something that is not authentic to our own self. We are living the ghosts of somebody else's dreams. And we need to stop and think clearly. What that person's intention was cannot be our intention, your intention in getting to where you need to be. See them as an inspiration, an example of where you are wanting to go, but you have to start to map out the direction that you are at least wanting to try. Because along the way there will be course corrections, and sometimes major course corrections in you achieving what you are wanting to achieve. But the intention needs to be there as well. So as you fight and try to see through the mist and the fog at times of where your thoughts of success could possibly lead you, your intentions needs to be clear. You need to be prepared to do some assembly and some deconstructions as well, because the deconstructions are things that are no longer of any use to you, and you need to be prepared to remove those, clear the space so that new things can be laid, and also to be prepared to look at the foundation. Because if what you're going to be building and those foundations, those old foundations can't take the new structure, then you may need to dig out those old foundations and start completely again. And in some ways, this is where the tension could arise. So my second point is this: those negative thoughts. And your negative thoughts can be a great aid to you. Also, it can also work against you. You see, you start to have negative thoughts because many times you're moving into something that is totally new to you. You may not have any experience. You may hear of other people's failed attempts, and you are attempting to do something that maybe not many people have done before, or may have never done before. And so you're facing a barrage of conflicting thoughts, emotions, opinions, all landing on your doorstep. And you're thinking, you're double thinking, you're cross-examining yourself. And the more you do it, you start to feel, I'm not able to do it at times. Am I the right person? Do I have what it takes to do this new venture? Do I have the resources necessary to do those new things that I'm wanting to do? And this is where you need to take hold of those negative thoughts, because those negative thoughts will grow into anxiety, and anxiety will always floor you, because it will definitely start to squash and poison and choke those dreams with those intentions. Anxiety can rob you of so much even before you reach your first milestone. But again, those negative thoughts can be used to your advantage. Understanding that sometimes those negative thoughts is something that you may not have experienced, but what it requires is for you to take some small action. Look at the tasks that you're dealing with and break it down into smaller portions. And when you've broken it down, if it still looks even more daunting, break it down even further until you get it down to its most basic form so that you can move forward. And it's interesting too that sometimes those negative thoughts are formed in the environment that you're presently in. And you may need to take yourself out of that environment into a different space where you can possibly work and give you a fresh perspective in how you can be moving forward. So you're killing those thoughts of anxiety. So you're no longer so anxious. One, if it's an environmental thing, or it could be a person thing. It could be the person that you are working with at the present moment or you're in contact with may bring up anxiety around you. And you're second guessing yourself in everything that you're doing. And you're thinking, why am I feeling this way? It could be because the person that you're working with, is causing you to second guess yourself. But as soon as you're away from them, you feel relaxed, you feel clear in what your objectives are, and you're able to move forward. So it may take you a little bit of time to start to understand the environment that you may be working in, the people that you may be associated with. Because again, the people that you may be associated with may not have done anything new, may not have come up with anything new, or have stretched themselves to develop anything that is maybe outstanding. And you come along and say, you know what, I'm fancy, I could do this, this and this, and they are shocked that you even come up with such an idea. And they may not say anything negatively at first, but you just get that vibe. Their reaction to you has changed somewhat. So you need to be aware of those negative thoughts, because those negative thoughts will turn into anxiety, and anxiety will then find something to feast on. And if you're second guessing yourself because of the environment, the people that you associate with, the things that you're listening to, you need to start to examine it and start to remove those influences as soon as possible. Third point is this, and I've sort of touched upon this already. The setbacks are part of the course. And again, we move into the situation that we've planned out everything to the minutest detail. And we said, well, I can get this done within 6 months. And after a year, you're still working on it. After a year and a half, 2 years, you're just starting to see a breakthrough. Now, when you taste the success and you look back on the course of things, and somebody asks you, would you have started it if you've known all the setbacks and the heartache that you would have encountered? And you look back and say, well, maybe not, but it was something that I had to do. And sometimes, you can look back in hindsight and you say, yeah, if I know, maybe not. But there again, if if you have that intention and you know you want that success, and you know some assembly is going to be required, you know that there's going to be setbacks, and it's part of the course. Because having those setbacks, it strengthens you, because it gives you that ability to think on your feet. It gives you the ability to adapt, to improvise, to be creative. All these things are so important for you to really push on forward with things. Because if things were so easy and it's just given to you, you do not necessarily appreciate what you've been given. But if you have been in the trenches, you've been able to solve problems on the go. You know, you've held down a 9-to-5 job. You worked on your projects in the evening and on the weekends. You've seen the difficulty in trying to manage your time, balance out the cash flow, deal with people in between the breaks that you've had on the evenings, the weekends. You appreciate, you understand what it has taken you, and those setbacks have given you the strength, the determination to push on through. And it becomes more clear to you, because you start to see, as you become that connoisseur of what you are wanting to achieve, the various routes necessary to achieve the success that you want. So setbacks, in some way, are so important, because it will test you to find out, are you serious? Are you determined? Now, you may have to do a course, and anytime you can do the course, you can't do it full time because you've got maybe a 9-to-5 job, or you're working on something else, or you can do it in the evenings and the weekends. And it's going to take you a year. And the thing is, do you have that determination to last and push on through the year? Setbacks are part of the course, but also sometimes very important, because it gives you, and again, you know, it grounds you in the reality of what you are going to do and what you are needing to do to see that success. Point 4. Patterns of habit. All of us have some kind of habits, and we do things sometimes on such precise time, mundane, you know, that people can set their clock by us. But sometimes those habits don't always work for us. And especially if we're moving into a new space, we are developing ourselves, we are wanting to stretch ourselves. And many times people get into the habit, the mindset that what worked for me in the past will work for me again in the future. And you see this and you hear of this every day, of successful companies suddenly find themselves bankrupt, unable to pay the payroll, unable to see new growth because of set habits. The mindset is closed. They had the mindset of success at one stage, but they no longer carry those same values again. Because what worked maybe 5 years ago will not necessarily work the same way. And yes, you will find the odd spurt of success, but it's nothing like what it was in the previous years before. And many times it's because there's not an eye on the changing landscape of where you are going. And where you're going, it may be a totally different paradigm to what it was from 5 years ago. And it's just like communications. Once the letter needs to rule the communication wave, but the letter is still around, post offices are still around, but it's no longer the main way of people use to communicate. You have email, you have direct mail, messengers, you have all sorts of communication tools available to you. So it would be unwise for a company or individual to just totally rely on something that is not as effective as it used to be. Because you know at one stage or another that you've posted a letter in the morning, it will be there the following day. Or sometimes the same day if you're fortunate. Now you know that that same letter could take you a day or more. And that is time that you can't afford to lose. So you need to examine the habits that you have. And the habits that you have may have worked in the environment that you are now, but it may not be sufficient to take you where you need to be going. And this is where the pain and the discomfort come, because you're adjusting yourself to something that you are not familiar with. You're having to create new ways to accommodate the growth that you will be experiencing in the near future. And at times you're questioning yourself because you're thinking, what am I doing? Because I'm not seeing anything happen now. I'm not seeing my bank account as healthy or as happy as it should be. And you may start to go back or start to examine those negative thought patterns. Somebody may come alongside you and say, what are you doing? You put all this time and effort and money in, but nothing's happening. And you've got to be able to stay the course, understand what you are trying to achieve. Re-examine those habits. And if those habits mean that you are spending time with people that are not necessarily helping you in their thoughts and in their attitude, then you need to possibly re-examine those relationships and those environments that you are in. Create those patterns that will strengthen your resolve to finish and be in that area of success that you are wanting to be. Create those patterns, those mental patterns, physical patterns. Start your day with something happy. You may listen to some soothing music in the morning time when you get up, or you may listen to something that makes you laugh and put you in that positive, happy frame of mind to deal with the day. Create those patterns that will help you be the best person you can be every single day. Our fifth point and conclusion. Find the principle and work with it. And again, this is something I've not mentioned about, but it's important that we understand the principle of things that will work for us. We don't want to be dogmatic and say this is the absolute law. because everything changes. What you were doing last month, who you were last month, you are a totally different person you are now. Right? Understand the principle of things, because you yourself are a unique individual. And so what one person uses for their success may not even work for you. Some of the things that what I see and so many people get caught up in is that they have somebody who's become very successful, they've done something, and they're saying they are getting so much more income or support, or people are viewing them, and somebody or groups of people will sort of try the exact same thing, and they realise that they're not getting nowhere near as much success or any success at all, because they have not taken the time to understand the principle behind what was being said or what's being taught to them. And so you need to find that area that is going to be working for you. You may see it something, okay, this has some truth to it, let me make some adjustments to suit my situation, my environment, the people I'm working with, people I intend to be working with. Let me find what really resonates with me, and I can make it my own personal stamp. That's going to be an important thing, finding the principle that works for you and then make it yours. And another thing you should be trying to do is making notes along the way, understanding the good things and the bad things that's worked and has not worked quite as well as you thought it should have done. If you've got some kind of record and you come across something that suddenly takes off and you can repeat it again, time and time again, and make adjustments along the way, you're going to be in so much better shape than somebody who gets a success and can't explain how they've got that success and how they've got something to work so well. But if you've got some kind of record or some things that are not working and some things that are working really well, then you can start to navigate in between the two. So find the principles that work for you. How many there are, that's entirely down to you. But there are principles out there that can really work for you if you're prepared to do the looking and do the experimentation. That is, again, so important. Experiment with who you are, what you've got, and you will start to see the breakthrough. So, these are the thoughts for this week's Sunday Connoisseur. Dealing with success. Some assembly may be required. So I hope you've enjoyed this little episode, and if you've not joined, please join our network, join our newsletter so you can get this direct to your mailbox every Sunday. And if you'd like any help in navigating anxiety, those negative thoughts, then please go to my website, exploringstrategicpossibilities.com, or you can email me on info@ strategicpossibilities.com. Again, you can book straight from my website or the links down below. So, until next time, take care and have a great week.